හරිම සුමුදුයි.
Tonight on First at 9 this Sunday the 14th of January 2024. Austerity. Secretary to the Ministry of Finance issues a new circular instructing all government entities to control public expenditure in 2024. Beating the market. Sri Lanka to continue upholding market exchange rates while building reserves to tackle market volatilities, highlights the central bank governor.
That only way we can do by building up our buffers in terms of our ability to intervene.
Explosive revelations. Powerful hands behind the planting of a bomb inside the All Saints Church in Buralla, reveals the cardinal.
Because he is one of their stooges. They sent it. The big shots sent that grenade to the church.
Revisions. Government announces the revision of the annual liquor license fee. State Minister of Finance meanwhile says concerns of trade associations will be addressed upon the arrival of the president.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
නියම මෝල්ට් සාරය සමග මැලිබන් මෝල්ට් දැන් රුපියල් 750ක් පමණයි.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to AdaDerana First at 9. I'm AdaDerana joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Now in your top story tonight, Secretary to the Ministry of Finance Mahinda Siriwardana has issued a new circular to the heads of all government institutions instructing them to control public expenditure in 2024. Considering the increase in government expenditure and limited government revenue within an economically challenging episode of Sri Lanka's history, the new circular aims to manage and reduce government expenditure efficiently.
Secretary to the Ministry of Finance Mahinda Siriwardana has issued a circular recently to all ministry secretaries, provincial chief secretaries, heads of departments, district secretaries, state corporations, the University Grants Commission and heads of statutory boards and government-owned boards. According to the circular, the sum of monthly overtime payments should not exceed the basic salary of a public servant, and it has been communicated that funds will not be allocated in addition to that which has already been allocated for overtime allowances, holiday pay, other allowances and travel expenses. In order to minimize the expenses for electricity, water, telephone services, fuel and contracted services, a cost control method should be used as appropriate, and it has been instructed that the purchasing of stationery and other office needs should be subject to strict control and should only be procured based on the actual annual need. The new circular goes on to state that meetings, workshops, conferences and training sessions should be conducted online whenever possible, and that officers must only be summoned when it's mandatory for the officer to be present in person. On foreign training, the circular says unless the full cost of the training session is being fully funded by a foreign sponsor, state workers will not be permitted to attend such trainings. The new circular issued by the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance has decided in principle that the restructuring of closure of loss-making public enterprises should be carried out promptly and that urgent measures should be taken to consolidate similar institutions, strengthen corporate governance and confirm the financial strength of public enterprises.
ඒකෙදින ප්‍රධාන කාරණාවක් තමයි විදේශ සංචාර සීමා කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ විදේශයේවල පුහුණු වීම, විදේශ වැඩසටහන් සම්මන්ත්‍රණ ඒවා ඒ රටවල වියදමින් නම් තමයි යන්න ඕනේ. නැත්තම් යන්න බෑ. කොල්ල කෑල්ලක ඉඳන් සියලු දේවල් සීමා කරන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ ආදර්ශය පාලකයෝ දෙනවද? ඇමතිවරු දෙනවද? මන්ත්‍රීවරු දෙනවද? ඒගොල්ලෝ නේ රාජ්‍ය ඇමතිවරු දෙනවද? ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ නැහැ.
වියදම් අඩු කරන්න ඕන රාජ්‍ය සේවය නෙමෙයි. අද අපි දන්නවා හිටපු ජනාධිපතිවරු 5 දෙනෙක් සඳහා කෝටි 1100ක් වෙන් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතාම සොච්චම් වැටුපක් අරගෙන ණයට ණය අරගෙන තමයි අද තුන් වේල කන්න කැම ටික හොයාගන්නේ. එවැනි මට්ටමක ඉන්න මේ රටේ රාජ්‍ය සේවකයාට තවදුරටත් විවිධ පීඩන තාඩන එල්ල කරන්න සූදානම් වෙනවා නම් ඊට එරෙහිව මේ රටේ වැඩ කරන ජනතාව අපි පෙළගස්සනවා කියන පණිවිඩයත් ඉතා වගකීමෙන් කියනවා.
Meanwhile, Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe says that it is crucial for the country to reduce the external current account deficit sustainably. Speaking at the annual policy statement announcement for the year 2024, the Central Bank Governor also said import restrictions will be relaxed to suit the needs of a resurging economy. The CBSL chief says that the central bank will take measures to continue a market-determined exchange rate policy while building up buffers to respond to market volatilities.
The completion of external debt restructuring is the most important part in the external sector stability this year. And the successful continuation of the IMF EBF support program, which is a balance of payment support, is also very important and instrumental in eliminating the prevailing market uncertainties and improving investor confidence on a sustainable basis. It's imperative that Sri Lanka reduces deficit in the external current account as we have done last year, but we want to do it on a more sustainable basis going forward on a very smaller current account deficit on a medium to long-term basis by ensuring the resilience in the export sector to boost merchandise export earnings, amidst expected gradual recovery of import expenditure. Also, we don't want to compress imports. We will gradually relax imports which are needed for the economy to recover and function normally. In addition, the external current account is also expected to be supported by an improved surplus in the trade and services and work remittances. We are seeing that already, as I mentioned earlier. In addition to the efforts to restore macroeconomic stability, concerted efforts are imperative to promote and diversify both merchandise exports. It's important is to diversify export base and also export of trade in services to resolve and diversify and address the recurring balance of payment issues that we have been facing in the past. Moreover, sustaining the momentum in worker remittances will be a strong balance of payment support and attracting non-debt obligatory foreign financial inflows like foreign direct investments and investment into capital markets and portfolio investment would be instrumental in ensuring lasting stability and also to the banking sector with the hopefully that we would get better ratings this year. That's the important objective for us to get our sovereign rating improved this year so that all these medium to long-term inflows, FDIs, portfolio inflows to banking and other institutions would be much stronger this year. That's what we hope this year. Central Bank remains committed to maintain a market-determined and flexible exchange rate. When their flows are coming in, going out, it can always happen because it's a very dynamic and open market. So then we need to allow a market-determined exchange rate while preventing excess volatility. That only way we can do by building up our buffers in terms of our ability to intervene. So market-determined exchange rate would certainly help correct the anti-export bias that prevailed in the past for long periods and undo build-up of speculative pressures and subsequent volatility of the exchange rate. In the past, exchange rate had been a one-way bet and there have been a lot of speculation. Now we have been able to address that part. It's no longer one-way bet. It to respond to demand and supply conditions, and then we will intervene to smoothen out any excess volatility.
The comment you made on the anti-export bias in the exchange rate, traditionally I would say that would be an overvaluation of the exchange rate. So any comment you can make on what getting rid of an anti-export bias in the exchange rate could mean?
Exchange rate is, to me, would reflect all the other policies. If we have a stable fiscal policy, stable monetary policy, stable financial system policy, then we will have a stable exchange rate as a result of all this stability will reflect in the exchange rate. But what happened in the past, we did not have stability in those areas, trying to fix artificially the exchange rate only, thinking that everything will be automatically fixed as the exchange rate. That's the wrong policy. That will never work. That's why we had 16 times going to the IMF, trying to fix the exchange rates, maintain stability without fixing other imbalances.
Now, on the fiscal side of things, the Inland Revenue Department urges the general public to follow the guidelines issued by the department and to use services of authorized tax consultants and auditors if such services are necessary to avoid the misuse of confidential information. Joining our program at Hyde Park within Devari Amuwatta, Senior Deputy Commissioner of the Inland Revenue Department, Nihal Vijayawardena, reveals that several official channels have been opened up for the general public to answer any concerns and to ease the process of obtaining the TIN certificate. Meanwhile, also joining the program, Deputy Commissioner General of the Inland Revenue Department, Saman Shanta, outlines that the country's top tax collecting authority is in the process of implementing a centralized system to collect information pertaining to personal income by linking up with other departments and institutions island-wide.
How will the IRD really look into this income? Is there a centralized mechanism to gather information of individual incomes earned?
Actually, these days we are implementing the system. It is not completed. Normally, we have all details who has the motor vehicles. And like that, when bank pay the interest to the deposit holder, it is required to deduct 5% and remit to the Commissioner General's account. Those details also with the department. Likewise, we ask some details from the several institutions. So those details have the department that we want to, actually we know what are the amount that person export to other countries, import from another countries. All details we have because we have linked with the customs. Like that, we want to link with the other government institution as well banks to get those information.
Is there any other way that the IRD is facilitating this?
Your confidential information you should not pass to a person who is not responsible, because as far as tax consultants, auditors are concerned, there are formal tax consultant and auditors, but there are others as well. So don't pass your confidential information to them. Whatever the information or assistance you required, you can call to our hotline, that is 1944, and get the required assistance from us. If not, you can go to the regional office and get the required information, and you can fill forms and get this TIN certificate easily. And once you fill the document, you can simply give it to the regional office or to the head office and wait your TIN certificate over the mail. And if not, you can use the RAMI system by logging into the IRD website www.ird.gov.lk. So that is the formal way that we are suggesting. So unless the taxpayer wanted to go to the tax auditor or tax consultant, you can come to the department and get our assistance. But our advice is go to the formal method to protect your data and protect your information, confidential information.
Right. Do you think there's enough education or awareness among the people about what really is being done with these taxes?
The expense side, like you very rightly said, confidence has to be given to the public that the income that is collected is utilized properly, utilized without corruption, and for the right reasons, without any wastage. So that area of communication has to be built up. It's very clear where the money is going, and there isn't enough money to spend properly to develop education. Whilst it has been allocated, that is the second part that the government needs to do to ensure it is utilized correctly without corruption.
Now, in other developments on the economic front, the Milk Powder Importers Association today announced that it will raise the prices of milk powder from next week onwards. The price hike follows the increase of the value-added tax imposed on the imported milk powders.
Following the increase of the value-added tax imposed on imported milk powder importers have taken measures to increase the prices of imported milk powder. This change is expected to materialize within the upcoming week. Accordingly, as per the announcement made by the Milk Powder Importers Association, a 400-gram packet of imported milk powder will be increased by 30 rupees, while the price of a 1 kilogram packet of milk powder will go up by 75 rupees. The new prices will come into effect by mid-next week.
මේ සතියේ ඉඳලා කිරිපිටි ආනයනය කරන ආනයනකරුවන් වැත් සංශෝධනයට අනුව රුපියල් 30ක ප්‍රමාණයකින් ග්‍රෑම් 400 පැකට්ටුවේ මිල වැඩි වෙනවා. මොකද වැත් තිබුණේ 15%යි ආනයනය කිරිපිටි පැකට්ටුවකට ඒක දැන් 18%ක් යනකම් වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒතකොට මේ 3% වෙනස තමයි රුපියල් 30ක් විදිහට මිල සංශෝධනය වෙන්නේ. අලුත් මිල මුද්‍රණය කිරීමට පටන් ගන්නවා මේ සතියේ ඉඳලා. නමුත් වෙළඳපොලේ තියෙන තොග ප්‍රමාණ අනුව වෙළඳපොලට එන කාලය පොඩ්ඩක් එහාට මෙහාට වෙන්න පුළුවනි. නමුත් මුද්‍රණය කරන්න පටන් ගන්නවා මේ සතියේ ඉඳලා. මේ තියෙන
Now, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit alleges that 2 years ago, quote, a stooge, unquote, of an influential figure in Sri Lanka planted a hand grenade inside the All Saints Church in Borella. Further expressing his views on the matter, the Cardinal says that the motive behind planting the bomb was to scare off calls demanding justice over the Easter Sunday attack.
On the 11th of January 2022, a hand grenade was found within the premises of the All Saints Church in Borella. 4 people, including a worker of the church, were arrested on suspicion, and they were subsequently released after being brought before court. Against this backdrop, the Catholic Church alleges that no formal inquiry was properly carried out regarding the incident. Commemorating the 2-year anniversary of the incident, a special mass was organized at the All Saints Church of Borella.
hand grenade එකක් ඒක පුපුරන්නට තමයි සකස් කරලා තිබුණේ වාසනාවකට ඒ කටයුත්ත ඉෂ්ට වුණේ නෑ ඒ විදියට. CCTV එකේ සඳහන් වෙච්ච දර්ශන බලන්නේවත් නැතුව පල්ලියේ සේවය කරපු සේවකයින් 3 දෙනෙකුයි පල්ලියේ යාඥා කරන්නට ඇවිල්ලා හිටපු තව එක්කෙනෙකුයි ඒ 4 දෙනා මේක කරා කියලා දඩින් බිඩින් ගාලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට විරුද්ධව චෝදනා දාලා ඒගොල්ලන්ව සිරබත් කළා. මේ කටයුත්තේදී නොයෙකුත් බොරු කිව්වා. හරියට බැලුවා නම් CCTV දර්ශන වලට අපිට අහු වුණා කවුද මේ පොලිතින් බෑග් එක දාගෙන මේ ග්‍රෙනේඩ් එක ගෙනල්ලා තිබ්බේ කියලා ඔතන මුල්ලේ. නමුත් පොලිසිය මේ මනුස්සයව හෙව්වේවත් නැහැ. අවුරුදු 2ක් ගිහිල්ලත් අපි තාමත් ඉල්ලන්නේ යුක්තිය. So that man who brought this and kept it there is somebody in Sri Lanka. He is there. No such search has been done because he is one of their stooges. They sent it. The big shots sent that grenade to the church. අපිට අවවාද කරන්න අපේ රැලිය පවත්වන්න එපයි කියලා කියන්න තේවත්තේ ඒකට තමයි ඕක එව්වේ මිනිසුන්ව බය කරන්න. This year is supposed to be an election year. If they have the election, we have a chance to decide once and for all whether these corrupt politicians will continue to rule this country or whether somebody new should be handed over with this responsibility of moving forward our country into the future.
Following the Mass, a silent protest was organised in front of the church, which was led by the Archbishop of Colombo, Malcolm Cardinal Ronjit.
Now in the political arena today, leader of the NPP, Anurukumara Dissanayaka, claims that the NPP will free Sri Lanka from the shackles of political, religious and caste divisions. However, former UMP parliamentarian P. Harrison warned of an NPP government, reminding his audience at a meeting today that a similar political experiment was conducted when former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was elected to office, which ultimately led to nationwide chaos.
එක සම්මතයක් තිබෙනවා රටක් ගොඩනගන්නට ආර්ථිකයක් ශක්තිමත් කරන්නට සමාජවාදය මාර්ගය නොවේ මාර්ගය ධනවාදය. හැබැයි UNP එකයි සමගි ජන බලවේගයයි වෙනස් වෙන තැනක් තිබෙනවා. UNP එක අනුගමනය කරන්නේ ගජමිතුරු ධනවාදය. ලුම්පන් ධනවාද. අපි අනුගමනය කරන්නේ මානුෂීය ධනවාද.
2023 අපිට හොඳ වුණේ නෑ භාගයක්. 2022 හොඳම වුණේ නෑ. හැබැයි 2024 අවුරුද්ද හොඳ හින්දා තමයි ඉස්සරහට මේ රට සංවර්ධනය වෙන්නේ. ඡන්ද වේලාවට දෙනකොට ඡන්දේ පොලිමේ දාන්න හොඳ නායකයෙක් තෝරගන්න ඕගොල්ලන්ට අයිතියක් තියෙනවා. ඒකට ඕගොල්ලෝ සහයෝගයක් දෙන්න ඕන.
දරුවට කන්න නැත්තම්, ඉස්පිරිතාලේ බෙහෙත් නැත්තම්, දොස්තර මහත්තයා දාලා යනවනම්, කර්මාන්ත පද්ධතිය කඩා වැටෙනවනම්, බදු පිට බදු ගහනවනම්, මොකද පක්ෂ බෙදිලා? මොකද කුල වලට බෙදිලා? මොකද ජාති හැටියට බෙදිලා? මේ බෙදීම ඔක්කොම පැත්තකින් තියලා නව ජාතික පිබිදීමක් අපිට අවශ්‍යයි. ඒ ජාතික පිබිදීම තමයි ජාතික ජන බලවේගය හරහා මේ රටේ ජනතාව සංවිධාන නව ජාතික පිබිදීම.
දැන් ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණේ නායකයෙක් කියනවා අපිට ටිකක් දීලා බලන්න. දැන් ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාට රටේ 69 ලක්ෂයක් ඡන්ද දීලා අත්දා බලන්න ගිහිල්ලා මොකද උනේ? අවුරුදු දෙකමාරක් යනකොට මුළු රටම කඩා වැටුණා. ඒ වගේම තමයි සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමා ආසයි බයයි. මම එකක් කැට තියලා කියන්නම්. සමගි ජන බලවේගයේ භාගයකට වැඩිය රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමත් එක්ක අත්වල බැඳ ගන්න එනවා තව ටික දවසක්.
දැන් අර පැත්තෙන් නම් කියලා තියෙන්නේ රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයා ජාතික අපේක්ෂකයා වගේ ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා කියන කතාව.
එයා එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ අපේක්ෂකයානේ.
ඒතකොට ඔබතුමන්ලාගේ
තාම අපි එහෙම තීන්දුව කරලා නැහැ නේ. සමහර විට අපේ පක්ෂයෙන් අපේක්ෂකෙක් ඉදිරිපත් වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නොවෙන්නත් පුළුවන්.
මමත් අවුරුදු 19 පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ හිටියා. මම දැක්ක වෙච්ච දේවල් මම පක්ෂ තුනක හිටියා. මම දැක්කේ පක්ෂවල වෙන දේවල්. මේ පක්ෂ දේශපාලනයෙන් තොර මේ රට එකට තියාගන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රමවේදයක් හදන්න එක තමයි අපේ බලාපොරොත්තු. ඒකට අපි ජාතික සංවිධානයක් ක්‍රියාත් කරනවා කරලා හැම පක්ෂයකටම අපි ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා මේ වැරදි කරන දූෂිත පුද්ගලයන්ව ආගම් අතර ભેද ඇති කරන පුද්ගලයන්ව මේ රට විනාශ කර පුද්ගලයන්ව නාම යෝජනා දෙන්න එපා කියලා.
මෙවර ජනාධිපති වරණයට බලන්න මේ ඉදිරිපත් වෙලා ඇස් දෙක පියාගෙන පොඩි භාවනාවක් කරන්න. එක එක අපේක්ෂකයා ගැන රටක් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. ලැජ්ජ නැතුව ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට බයින්න එපා. ඒගොල්ලන්ත් අපේ වේදිකාවට කොහොම හරි ගන්න ඕන. මට නම් කිසිම සැකයක් නැහැ. 2024 ලංකා ඉතිහාසයේ අලුත් පිටුවක් පෙරලෙනවා. ඒ තමයි රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඡන්ද ලක්ෂ 100කට වැඩි අරගෙන ලංකාවේ ජනාධිපති වෙනවා.
Welcome back. Now in your latest corporate updates, Unilever Sri Lanka recently announced the appointment of a new chairman and CEO effective from the 1st of February this year. Meanwhile, Aitken Spence Hotels Holdings announced the appointment of a new independent non-executive director to the company. Now let's take a look at some of the latest corporate developments.
Unilever Sri Lanka recently announced the appointment of a new chairman and CEO effective from the 1st of January this year. As such, Ali Tariq will take over the roles while also joining Unilever's South Asia leadership team. The new chairman will take over from the outgoing chairperson and managing director Haja Al-Afifi. In the meantime, Aitken Spence Hotel Holdings announced the appointment of a new independent non-executive director to the company. The board of directors of the company has appointed Dr. Ravindrajit Fernando as an independent non-executive director with effect from the 10th of January this year. The company stated that the newly appointed director does not hold any shares in the company as of date. Further, the Colombo Dockyard PLC recently announced the discontinuity of an alternate director of the company. Accordingly, Shuhei Nozaki, who was an alternate director to T. Nakabi, ceased to be an alternate director with effect from the 12th of January this year. In its corporate disclosure, the company added that the respective director does not hold any shares of the company as at the 12th of January 2024.
Now in other local business developments, the government of Sri Lanka took measures to revise the annual liquor license fee with effect from the 12th of January 2024. In the meantime, State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siamalapitia highlighted that concerns raised by certain trade associations regarding the annual liquor license fee will be discussed with President Ranil Wickremesinghe upon his arrival to Sri Lanka, while further stating that relevant amendments will be made accordingly.
In his capacity as the Minister of Finance, President Ranil Wickremesinghe issued a Gazette notification revising the annual excise license fee with effect from the 12th of January 2024. Subsequently, the distillery license fee except for Palmyra Arak was increased from 10 million rupees to 25 million rupees, while the license fee for Palmyra Arak was increased from 250,000 rupees to 5 million rupees. In the meantime, the FL4 type license fees for retail sale of liquor was revised and the fee of outlets within the jurisdiction of municipal councils will see an increase of up to 15 million rupees. Further, the license fee for outlets within the jurisdiction of urban councils has been increased up to 12.5 million rupees, while the fees of outlets in other areas were increased up to 10 million rupees. Accordingly, the liquor license fee of hotels with 200 or more rooms was increased up to 1 million rupees. Hotels with number of rooms ranging from 20 to 199 was increased up to 500,000 rupees, and the fee of hotels less than 20 rooms was increased up to 250,000 rupees. Further, the liquor license fee of inns, which previously stood at 100,000 rupees, was increased to 2 million rupees.
ගාස්තු තුන්ආකාර වෙනවා. එකක් තමයි නව සුරා බලපත්‍රයක් ලබා දීමේදී ගන්නා වූ ගාස්තුව, දෙවෙනි එක වාර්ෂික ගාස්තුව, තුන්වෙනි එක පවත්වාගත යුතු අපතන්පත් කිරීම පිළිබඳ ගාස්තුව. තුන් ආකාරයේම ගාස්තු වැඩි කිරීමක් මේ ගැසට් එකෙන් සිද්ධ වුණා. වාර්ෂික බලපත්‍ර ගාස්තුව වැඩි වූ ආකාරය පිළිබඳව ඔවුන්ගේ වෙළඳ සංගම් ඔවුන්ට ඒ තුලින් ඇතිවන ගැටලු, ඒ ගාස්තු වැඩි කිරීම ඔවුන්ට දරා ගැනීමට අපහසු බව කරුණු පෙන්වා දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ජනාධිපතිතුමා මේ රටින් බැහැරව ඉන්නේ. එතුමා විදේශයේ සිට පැමිණි වහාම එතුමාගේ අවධානය යොමු කරලා සංගම් වලින් අපිට පෙන්ලා දෙන කරුණු සමග සංසන්දනය කරලා ගැළපෙන විදිහට මේවා සංශෝධනය කරන්න ඒකත් විශේෂයෙන්ම සඳහන් කළ යුතුයි.
In the meantime, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, in his capacity as the Finance Minister, took measures to revise the casino license fees with effect from the 12th of January 2024. Subsequently, the casino license fee for applicants with the minimum investment of $250 million in integrated development is currently at 10 billion rupees, while the casino license renewal fee also stands at 10 billion rupees. Further, applicants whose investment in integrated development is a minimum of $500 million will be charged a casino license fee of 5 billion rupees, while the fee for renewal of the license stands at 10 billion rupees. Meanwhile, State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siamalapitia commented on the Gazette notification issued regarding the import of vehicles.
පොදුවේ වෙළඳපොළ විවෘත කරන්න වාහනායන සඳහා උපස්ථිත තාමත් නිර්මාණය වෙලා නැහැ. අපි තා ප්‍රවේශමෙන් ගැන බලන්නේ. ਉਹ අපි ගැසට් එකකින් ඉඳ ලබා දුන්න පසුගියදා ඒ අත්‍යවශ්‍ය රාජ්‍ය ආයතන කිහිපයකට වාහන ගෙන්නන්නයි. ඒක තාම සීමිත වාහන ප්‍රමාණයක්. ඒක විශේෂයෙන් කියන්න අවශ්‍යයි. මෙතෙන්දී අපි ඉඳ ලබා දුන්නා අධ්‍යාපන අමාත්‍යාංශයට බස් රථ දෙකක් ගේන්න. සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයට පිකප් රථ 21ක් සහ ජංගම මාතෘ සායන සඳහා භාවිත කරන වාහන 3ක් ගේන්න. කම්කරු අමාත්‍යාංශයට එක වාහනයක්. එයා ලංකා සමාගමට ගුවන් යානයෙන් මගින් බැස්වීම සඳහා පාවිච්චි කරන රථ 3ක් ගෙන්නන්න. මේන් 95%ක්ම විදේශ ව්‍යාපෘති සඳහා භාවිතා වෙන ඒ ව්‍යාපෘතියේ මුදලින් ගෙන්නන වාහන.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of AdaDerana First at 9. Stay in touch with us on www.adaderana.lk for the latest developments around the clock. Thank you. Have a great night.
News and information you can trust 24 hours a day. Visit AdaDerana.lk.